How to build a giant nutcracker? Good question. The answer is step by step. Hi, this is Joël Meyer. This video is the first in a series of 5 where I will show you the different steps necessary to build your own giant nutcracker. Start by choosing the tube you will use for the torso. The diameter of the torso will help you determine the diameter of the tubes for the legs and for the arms. I went to a home improvement store and bought cardboard tubes that are used by builders for casting concrete. I found a large tube of 12 inches in diameter and a smaller tube 6 inches in diameter. In fact, those tubes are not precisely the size printed on the tube. In my case, the larger tube was slightly more than 12 inches in diameter. To better visualize how the legs will be placed relatively to the body, draw a cross-section of the tube which will form the torso of the nutcracker. The diameter of the tube that you choose for the legs should be slightly smaller than half the diameter of the torso. I fold the circle I drew in half to better visualize the position of the legs with respect to the body. As you can see, I did not really have room to leave a space between the legs. I then decided to glue the legs together and leave a small space on either side. Now that you have chosen your tubes, first cut the torso. The height of the torso depends on the diameter of the chosen tube. I will provide all the sizes and patterns of the nutcracker in a document that will be available through my website. To make it easier to cut the tube, I placed it between 2 chairs and I started by marking the selected height all around the tube. Then I connected the points with a continuous line. To make the line clearly visible in the video, I traced over the pencil with a black marker. The best way to cut the tube accurately is to follow the line with an X-Acto knife. You will need to do this several times because the tube is made of thick cardboard. Proceed in the same way to cut the arms and legs. Cut 2 arms of the same length as the torso. The diameter of the arms should be a little less than the diameter of the legs. Cut 2 identical legs, they must be longer than the torso. Start with a coat of white primer on all the tubes. Personally, I put 2 coats, because I wanted to hide all the printings on the tubes and also because I wanted to have a good base before applying the colored paint. Draw the outline of the torso twice on 14-ply cardboard. Put white glue on one of the circles and glue them together to each other. The builder's tubes are not always perfectly round, and you have to take this into account when you glue the circles to one another. To keep the circles together and prevent the edges from separating, use clothespins around the edges for a few minutes. Then, put white glue around the edge of one end of the torso and glue the double cardboard circle over the large tube. Place heavy items on the edges so that the contact between the circle and the tube is strong. I used a few cans of paint to hold it down. Remove the heavy items after 10 minutes. The side of the torso with the cardboard circle is the side where the torso will be attached to the legs. I chose to paint the circle in black. It will be the same color as the pants. I protected the tube with masking tape to avoid putting black paint on the area that I was going to paint in red. I chose to paint the torso and the arms in red, and I painted the legs black. To get the best results, put 2 or 3 coats of paint. I chose a semi-gloss exterior paint because I figured it would be more resistant when the nutcracker would be moved around. Choose the colors you want for the costume of your nutcracker. For my nutcracker, I took my inspiration from the costumes of the ceremonial guard that can be seen often in the summer on Parliament Hill in Ottawa, and as well from the British Royal Guard. Follow me on my YouTube channel and on my website to see the next video, where I will explain how to create the head of the Nutcracker. See you soon!